Main event. Let's do it. All right. All right, shout out to you guys. Let's get to the main event, man, the digital sexual revolution. The article that I'm going to read from is going to blow your mind. Let's take you to this right here. This is an article from 2022 from the Free Press for free people. And as you can see, there's a woman out there, legs busted wide open, and somebody videoing her. But it says, I'm 30. The sexual revolution shackled my generation. Shackled my generation. This is by Louise Perry, dated August 20th, 2022, so it's relatively newish. And she says, sexual symmetry between men and women was and is and always will be a lie. All right, so
gotcha, bitch.
What this is going to sound like a whole bunch of regret that the things that they did and they asked for and voted for didn't work out for them. So they're not getting the men to marry. Men are finding that they don't need to marry. And then we actually have the advanced junior college where men are willing to pay and dismiss, pay to leave. And women are out here trying to figure out what's the best scenario. So let me read this header, then we'll get into the article, but I'm going to set it up. And then we're going to see how we got here in the digital sexual revolution. We're somewhat towards the end of it where women are trying to pivot back and they're trying to figure out where the mess was made. They're still blaming men, though. They're still out here blaming men that we out here messed it up. But let's see what this woman says. She says, you're never going to get an argument for me about turning back the clock on feminism's hard-won victories. My life, my education, my marriage, my work would simply not be possible without it. But it's impossible to deny the unintended consequences of feminism and the sexual revolution. Now, let me stop right there. I wrote my book, The Evolution, and it was published the first month of the first month of 2020, right before COVID, but it was written all of 2019. Okay, these are the very things that I ironed out in my book, The Evolution, that it's the reverse engineering of American women. Feminism's reverse engineering of American women. And now we see it now because we have an open lane of what people would call prostitution. And nobody cares about it. Everybody, now the only people who care is the people who don't participate. All right, the people being priced out, the people being essentially, leveraged out of it. But women are out here enjoying their time. There's some men out here enjoying their time. Remember this young woman right here? This young woman right here. She had a 50-something-year-old Nigerian sugar daddy right here. So we've now crossed the line where we cannot come back. Pandora's box is wide open. But this woman saying, well, feminism had some good things, but there were unintended consequences. I wrote about that in my book. Is that when women are asking for things, there's always unintended consequences. Always. You have a girlfriend. She asked you for that. She asked you for something. You know that there's unintended consequences. You warn her. She says she doesn't care. You give it to her. Unintended consequences show up, and then she wants you to fix the unintended consequences. I didn't know this was going to happen, or I didn't think it was going to be that bad. So now you're on a mission to fix the results of what she asked for. This is where we are with feminism. They asked for it, they got it, and now they trying to shuffle and figure out, oh, well, we didn't realize this would happen. But you drunk up all the drink, you ate up all the food, you drank up all the drink, you fucked up all the chads, you had all the abortions, and now you trying to pivot back.
And that's you.
This is what she's saying right here. This is the woman's words, and I'm just translating it back to you. But it's impossible to deny the unintended consequences of feminism and the sexual revolution. Pick your subject. Prawn, hookup culture, fewer marriages, fewer babies, the birth rate declining. I talked about this in my book, The Evolution. Less sex. Okay, it's hard to look at the current landscape and not ask, did we go wrong somewhere along the way? Yes, you did. And it says Louise Perry's answer is an emphatic and unapologetic yes. She makes the case in her new book, The Case Against the Sexual Revolution, which you can pre-order here. And it says right here in a powerful essay below. I was struck by Louise when she came on honestly to debate the subject with a woman here. If you missed it, I highly recommend you listen to it. Okay. Consider sharing it with your teenagers, especially your daughters. Okay, so now share with the daughters. All right, now there is a part of this right here. She's debating somebody here. Okay, I guess there was a little audio here. The audio's disappeared. Let me see. Oh, there's the audio right there. Now, the audio is not this down here, so I'm going to have to read a little bit of it, but just passages. But before we do, let's show you how we got here. Now, remember, there was a period of time where women thought that if men slept with more other women, that they would not be judged negatively. Oh, he's a stud. He actually knows how to do, there's something about a man that can sleep with multiple women. And so women would say, well, why did that man get judged positively and women negatively? So women said, well, women should be allowed to sleep with as many men as they want without getting judged negatively. This started it. This is starting it. This is the 90s and the 2000s we started to hear this shit. At least I did. But it wasn't until the early 2010s where this started to be put into practice. And all that had to happen was digital. So we had computer love. We had the internet, Al Gore's internet in 1993. But we also had the onset of spaces to meet other people. MySpace, Black Planet, and all of these places. Even Match.com. And Sugar Daddy Meet. These places started to exist in the early 2000s going into it. Then Facebook, Classmates, all of these places started to allow women to reach out to past men and future men. Okay? And then engage in relationships. It was still under wraps. It wasn't outside completely yet, meaning that it wasn't off the rails. Women still were held to a standard of what Jill is talking about, where women could not be promiscuous like that. And if they were going to get labeled. But normal women started to want to say, well, we should be able to still do it too without getting labeled. So their peace leaves started to itch. What happened? This is what happened. We had songs like this in 2008. I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It by Katy Perry. Which this does then now show you how LGBTQ community was allowed to spread. Before, it was like, let's not talk about it. Remember, no, what was it? Don't ask, don't tell. Now we're having women, I kissed a girl and I like it. So you got women like, oh, we could do this? Yes, we could do it. Then you had also the TV show, Bravo, or anything that Ian Bravo produced, took it off the rails. So then you had women engaging in looking at pornography and enjoying it. This was helped by a TV show with Hugh Hefner and his 3 girlfriends. So now women started to look at Playboy magazine and showing themselves, objectifying themselves. It's not that bad. When previously in the 90s or the 2000s early, if you were caught with a Playboy magazine, you were a pervert. Listen to me. You were a pervert if you were being caught with a Playboy magazine. Now you have women openly saying, I want to be a Playboy playmate. Okay. Then it goes into further. Once you got the turn of the 2010s, the launch of Tinder, 2012. The launch of Tinder. Now, Tinder allowed for a small percentage of men to bang a large percentage of women. Please understand that during this time, and a lot of you cold approach Mac ass niggas weren't even born yet, or you were in elementary school at best. At this point, this allowed the younger generation Z and the millennials to go crazy. And what we later found out, it took a while, thanks to the people who study, bonobos and shit like this. A lot of these early adopters of the red pill, and this led to the explosion of the red pill. So if anybody wants to know why the red pill exploded, it was the result of this dating culture right here. Before this, the red pill was just divorced men and second wives and a couple of early adopters of what they would call incel, but they were called true forced loneliness. True forced loneliness. That was before the incels. But the red pill was a result of this particular explosion dynamic, which was Tinder. And that meant every woman can bang a personal trainer, a six-pack nigga, a tall nigga. Everybody can get a Chad. Every woman, fat, buck-toothed, cockeyed, knock-kneed, every one of these women can get the top tier men, or what people call the top tier men. Now we want to change the definition. Being tall doesn't make you top tier. Oh, it certainly does, because every time we hear a woman talk about it, height is important. Now they want to change and move the goalpost because a man got caught saying he was top tier because he was 6'4". Oh, that doesn't make you top tier. Shit, that been made you top tier for a long ass time in dating. So now every woman can get access to this guy better than any other platform ever. And not only that, they could do it anonymously. They could do it anonymously. Like Facebook is not so anonymous. But Tinder was completely anonymous. I got my phone, swipe, 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 swipe. Personal trainer nigga right at the door. Oiled up, pecs, six-pack ab, long schlong. Yep.
Hey, yo, chill, son. Hey, yo.
He can hit them skins and fucking go be out of there. All right, but you can also get her on there. This is the original Tinder, was hookup app only. Nobody was looking for relationships. Let me tell you something. I'm giving you not revisionist history. I'm giving you the truth. When Tinder came out, I was just getting divorced. When it came out, it was hookup only. Nobody was on there. I'm looking for a real relationship. That came a few years later because people started to get relationships out of it, right? But people started to meet and they were then, getting into relationships. So then people start saying, hey, I met my husband on Tinder. I met my boyfriend on Tinder. So then goofy broads started to change the game and they invaded Tinder and started saying, I'm looking for somebody. I'm looking for something that's real. I'm looking for something that's long-term. But when Tinder came out in the digital sexual revolution in 2012, it was a hookup app only. DTF, yes. All right, hit the kick, hit the phone, and then we fucking. And it was mostly college students. So this is where now these same women that are now looking for.
And that's you.
When they were in college, they were on Tinder. These women that are 35 and 40 looking for relationships were in college on Tinder fucking.
And that's you.
Right? So now there's up on there a couple of years later, 3 years down the line, 2015. I'm not like these other girls on here. I don't know why anybody wants to hook up over here. This is not a hookup app. Oh, yes, it is. And now they want a relationship. So that's 2012. Now let's go on to the next one. December 2014 was when Bumble came out, and it was the feminist app because by that point, they were tired of the hookup culture. All right? Everybody done fucked who they wanted to fuck.
Is anybody else just over this?
Everybody
hookup
ran
culture?
their body counts up like crazy. Sorry, and I was part of it. Okay, so coming out of a divorce, it was super duper easy. Then 2014, Bumble came out because then the women wanted to get a hold of it. Let's rein this shit in. All right, because this Tinder's getting out of control. That's December 2014. Then along with that, Instagram. Now, Instagram is the best dating app of all time. It's certainly the best hookup app. Now, it's a little bit different, guys. Young guys, Mac guys, cold approach guys. Instagram used to be a little different. It's not what it was today. Today, it's a little bit harder to hook up, although you can. But when Instagram came out and then the iPhone 3 came out, iPhone 3, because Instagram was only on iPhone. Before that, people had Androids and Blackberries. But Instagram was only available on iPhone. Take a look at the year. 2010 is when it came out. There were only 1 million users. Okay, 2011, barely 1 million. Not even, let's see here. What is this? Okay, look at it. But 2013, 2014 is when the iPhone 3 came out. All right, and that made more people buy. That was the most popular iPhone, 2013, 2012. Then because Instagram was only on iOS, everybody got rid of their Blackberries and Androids, and they got on the iPhone, mainly because of Instagram. Instagram was the app that you hooked up on. You might have got a relationship, but this is younger Gen X, older millennials. It was a fuck fest. If you weren't married, it was on like Donkey Kong. And what you would do is you would go to the person's oldest post. You would drop your phone number in there. There was no DMs. There were no DMs. There were no DMs. There was no Instagram did not have a DM section in 2012, in 2013. It was a area. So you go to the photo with 52 weeks ago or more. You drop your phone number in there after liking all her pictures. Drop your phone number down there in the oldest phone number. Tell her to pick it up in her other comment in the newest photo. She picks it up, or you drop your Kick. All right, which Kick was a messaging app. This was way before the DMs. And then you could hook up quick. So not only do you have Tinder and Bumble, you had Instagram, and it was going crazy. People was fucking like wildfire. STIs were exploding. And they could get the top tier men. They could all chase them. So when I see goofy women 38, 40, and 42 acting like, oh, I'm a pure good woman. Oh, no. I know what you were doing back in the day. I watched it, and we were all there.
And that's you.
We were all there. We saw what was going on. I know you was in that life. We all remembered it. Don't act. Oh, yeah, by the way, soon as she texts you on the phone, you delete the phone number on the old picture. Yes. Make sure you delete the old phone number. So what you do is, and this is also back when Instagram had a section. I don't know if they still have it. You can see your activity and who liked all your shit. So you would go to that activities page. It's the stalker page, I call it. I think Instagram got rid of it. But it's your stalker page. So you can see who's following who's messaging who's liking what. And then it also would tell you your timeline will fill up with one person liking 80 of your photos. All of a sudden, you see one person liking 80 of your photos, and then you see one of your oldest photo got the phone number. All right, and then you would get the phone number, get on there quick, or you would get the Kick, or you would say Kick ? And then you would get that Kick on the oldest photo. All right, yeah, they took the stalker section out. But they used to be able to see, like if you had a girlfriend or a girlfriend's trying to date you and you follow them, they can see what you're liking. So you'd be like, oh, I'm going to sleep. And then they look at the activity section and they see you up liking other women's photos. Oh, it was a mess. It was a mess. It was a mess. All right. So you really had to really understand that women would watch that section. That was the damn CIA section of the Instagram. So you had that. Then you had people are mentioning Craigslist. Yep, Craigslist. Sugar daddy apps were just starting to come out. I would say there were certainly some in the early 2000s, 2007. But then sugar daddy apps, seeking arrangements, have been around for 10 years. That's 2015. 2015, 2016, you started seeing women pivot from relationships and or monetizing their sex. So they got tired of the hookup culture really quick. Then they start now, let me monetize this. Let me make a couple of dollars going on a date. Before that, you had Backpage and Craigslist and all this stuff, so it was still litty. But this is the world we in. Now, today, if you're a young person talking about, Coach, you don't understand what's going on out here. No, you don't understand. I've been in seeing everything come and go twice. You think you're doing something new. You ain't doing shit new out here. The reality is I've seen this shit come and go multiple times. And we are now past the point where it's almost never going to return. Even this woman in the article saying it's too late. We fucked up. All right, we messed up. So anybody out here genuinely looking for love and romance and marriage and kids, they see like, bro, we fucked up. It's gone. Because really the digital sexual revolution, it just ruined it for everybody. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to get one. And everybody individually is going to be able to get something out of it. Whatever they're going to get, you're going to get it, but you're going to be abnormal. 42% of households in 1960 were married with children. Today, it's less than 20%. What caused that? How did that happen so fast? How did we drop so far, so fast? And you can see it on the, see here. You can see this in real time. Let me see if I can pull this up. Oh, yeah. I'll share it with you. But a lot of young people, especially if you're under 35, you're trying to figure it out too. And then you're coming up with strategies that people have already done 50, 11 times already. And then you come to me like, coach, what you need to do is, and I'll be like, really, Ninja?
Shut your bitch ass.
Like, what you need to know is how we got here. All right? We don't need no new strategies. That's some old ass strategies. All right. So let's show you this. We're just showing you what the possibilities are. So what's changed? U.S. households over since the 60s to now. Look at this fantastic dip in married parents. Okay. Look at it. And then look at single with no kids. This is all occurring in this. Look at where it squeezes here. What they would call this right here. What do they call this? A bottleneck? Look at this bottleneck down here. Look at this fantastic bottleneck. That is the years of the digital sexual revolution. Take a look. So the likelihood of you saying, coach, I want to be like everybody else who's married parents. Look at the bottleneck screaming. Screaming. What happened? Let's take a look. Let's see what this woman has to say. It says right here. Okay. Let's pull up her article. I used to believe the liberal narrative on the sexual revolution. As a younger woman, I held the same opinion as most other millennial urban graduates in the West. I conformed to the beliefs of my class. Of course, freedom is the goal. I thought what women need is freedom to behave as men have always behaved for hundreds of thousands of years. These women in America were going to literally change it by coming up with new liberal millennial ideology. We're going to behave like the men and we're going to get our freedom. This is what happened. There's no denying it. She said, we're going to behave as the men have always behaved. We're going to enjoy all of the pleasures of casual sex, prawn, BDSM, and indeed, any other sexual delight that the human mind can dream up. As long as everyone is consenting, what's the problem? She said, I no longer believe any of this. She said, we cooked. We went too far. we cooked. All right, because now when you meet a woman today, especially if you're one of the select men, shout out to our brother, Rom Wills. Doesn't he talking about select men and masters of the universe? Shout out to Rom Wills, legend in our space, and I hope he's healthy. If you meet a guy, and if you meet a woman, pause, and you're one of the select men, like you're muscular, you're tall, you're handsome, you're bald, you got money, whatever these things are that people are saying to make you high value. When you're intimate with a woman, these women are sexual sadists out here. You used to be able to lay with a woman and she would lay there. You would hump, push and shove, put some R&B music on, bust you a nut, and that woman will be sprung on you. She would latch onto you. That was your girl. And all you did was bust one nut, a splendiferous nut. Shout out to Obsidian. And once you finish pushing and shoving, oohing and ahhing, and we're talking about the majority, there were always outliers. There were always nasty girls out here. But it was a small percentage. Back in the day, you put on that 12 play and you bust you a nut and you just get on top of her. She'd be like, you're mine. You may have had them once, but I got them all the time. She yours. She don't want to leave. Bitch want to move in. She want to have your babies. All right, all that shit. That's your girl. She was sprung. You couldn't get rid of her. You show up at the grocery store, that bitch be like, hi. You like, that was your girl. Today, if you got onto a woman, mounted her, she'd be like, damn, he ain't had no stroke game. He ain't do nothing. He didn't choke me, whoop me. He didn't dominate me. He didn't piss on me. He didn't nut on my face. You like, He didn't tie me up. He didn't put me in handcuffs. He didn't slap my ass. He didn't pile drive me. Right? He was short. He couldn't do it. I don't want no short man. He a minute man. Why? Because they done been ran through. They done had the best of the best on Tinder, Bumble, Instagram. They done been stroked out, choked out, papped out, tapped out. And then you finish nutting on her. She just wipe it off like this and keep it going. Bye. You like, no sprung, no nothing. She get pregnant. She just go to the Planned Parenthood. Scrape this shit out real quick. I got to get back out here in these streets real quick.
In these streets?
Yep, he's so short. He this and that. I like a guy 6'9". You like, what the fuck? Where's the 6'9" niggas at? She know where they at. They on the internet. And she swipe. He come over there, and then he fill her up, and then he did. And she be over there convulsing. Take her in the shower to dookie and piss on her. And then we sitting up there like, and then you meet your girl. I'm looking for a nice guy out here.
And that's you.
Then you give her the 5-stroke special. She like, I can't be with him. His sex is whack. Don't you want to tie me up, choke me, spank me, whoop me? You're like, I don't know what I want to do all of that for. They used to listen to romantic music. Now they listen to Future and shit. You be like, all right, let me put on some motherfucking India Irie. Let me go ahead and put on some motherfucking Janae Aiko. I'd be like, let me put on my sexy, smooth seduction tape. She like, can you put on some of that goddamn ghetto ass hip hop? But them niggas sound like they drooling on the microphone. Now you out there fucking the Future. Nah, I can't listen to that, man. Put some old ghetto raggedy shit on. They be rolling up some weed and shit. All right, they the niggas. They like Angry Man calling them pirates. They out here like pirates now. Yeah, used to put on some smooth shit, and they want to put on some sexy red and shit. They be like, uh-huh. They come in like strippers now. They come in and perform on you like it's a strip club. You like, oh, she be like, you don't want me to dance? You don't want me to twerk it back? I was like, back in the day, them bitches used to just lay down and used to. Right? Now they putting on a performance and shit. They be mounting you and flipping positions. You used to have to flip them over. You used to have to ask them, can you put your hands on your knees? Now they come on here, hands on your knees. You like this? Do you like it, daddy? You like. Right? Like, what the hell? She jumping all on top of your shit like a pogo stick. You like, ma'am, it don't work like that. That's the movies. My shit don't work like that. You gonna break it. You about to break my shit. This ain't how it work. I don't know who you was with before me, but you can't be doing that shit on mine. Right? Tell me I ain't lying. Tell me I ain't lying. This is how it is today. And you knew, guys, if you wondering, it wasn't like this 20 years ago. It wasn't like this, bro. Now, if it was, only a small percentage of women were like this. A small percentage. Now, every woman is like this. And then they will come in acting innocent and shit. Right here. All right, acting innocent. But as you can see here, they like, oh, maybe we went too far. How do we correct this? Well, I'm not here to correct it. Let me give you a couple more paragraphs on this one. She says, I'm not a religious conservative. I'm a feminist. She says, I've spent my entire professional life working on the issue of male violence against women. Okay, we don't need to hear all that. I precisely became because I'm a feminist, I've changed my mind on sexual liberation. So, too late. Listen, I've changed my mind on sexual liberation and liberalism. I've changed my mind. This is how women work. I changed my mind. The damage is done. Oh, well, we'll just fix it. We'll just change everybody's belief system overnight. It's an ideology. It's an ideology premise on the false belief that the physical and psychological differences between men and women are trivial, and that any restrictions placed on sexual behavior must therefore have been motivated by malice, stupidity, and ignorance. The problem is the differences aren't trivial. Sexual asymmetry is profoundly important. One half of the population is smaller and weaker than the other, making it much more vulnerable to violence. The half of the population also carries all of the risks associated with pregnancy. It is also much less interested in carrying and enjoying all the delights now on offer in the post-sexual revolution area. The research is clear. Men on average are far more interested than women are in casual sex, buying sex, watching porn, and experimenting with unusual fetishes. It's not that women never enjoyed such things, but on average, they enjoyed them much less than men do. Remove the progressive goggles, and the history of the last 60 years looks different. The sexual revolution isn't only a story of women freed from the burdens of chastity and motherhood. It is also a story of the triumph of the playboy. So again, I think they're essentially saying the top tier men won. The rest of the women lost. So the playboy wins, right? The top 20%, the Chatter Tyrone, he wins. Guess who loses? All the women. So while the women were trying to be like the men, they were only trying to mimic the top tier men. They won, everybody else lost. Now we need to change it. To me, it's too late. It's too late for everybody. That's certainly the case. I mean, you would need literally World War III. And somebody said, we've been saying this. Facts. Haven't the entire red pill space, which is the redheaded stepchild of YouTube, has been saying this for over a decade. I wrote the book on this in 2019 saying we will not return. De-evolution. You see it right there, bottom right side of your screen. That's my second book. I said, nah, it's over. Meaning that for most people, and I'm going to back this up. For most people, the dream of being married with children is dead. Right? For most people. And there's a chart right there that tells you. No, forget it. Right? Most people, it is no longer the norm. It is no longer the prevailing thought. You guys experimented. You thought you could do it. Now you got the results. Now you're cooked. Huh? And this is a woman fully admitting it right here. It says the new sexual culture isn't so much about liberation of women as so many feminists would have us believe, but the adaptation of women to the expectation of a familiar character, which is Don Juan Casanova and recently Hugh Hefner. This may all be changing, they're saying right here. A woman says right here, I believe the pendulum with sexuality is going to swing big time. She wrote last year on a Substack, we're diving headlong into something that's been simmering in the background since 2013 and 2014. The pot is about to boil over. I say wishful thinking, but of course, she identified the ages and times that I did. Launch of Tinder, launch of Bumble, launch of Instagram. All right, social media, where everybody says, hey, and a lot of guys believe this too. Hey, you know what? People are going to start meeting again outside. What do we hear a lot of women saying? I want to meet men organically again. I want to meet men outside. Men are no longer cold approaching. So in a sense, she's right. There are women now that look at it and say, yeah, well, while most people do meet online, while I do have that as a lifeline, I would love for a man to approach me in public. But we also have to consider that during this time, women far went left to persecute men that approached in public for right or wrong reasons. They would call it cattle calling or some sort of coyote calling, cat calling. Then you had the PUA industry that was coaching men to approach women to manipulate them, and women rejected this. The Me Too movement, rejection of this type of strategy. Now they're trying to get men to approach again. So this is the pendulum swinging. where they're saying, but also, they're also going to keep hold of their Instagram. They're going to keep those guys over here. I'll keep my online, but I want men to approach. Yeah, the creepy men. These men are creepy. Thirsty. Remember that? Thirsty. Oh, these men out. You would approach a woman and she would call you thirsty. Who remembers that? Press a 1 in the chat if you remember that. Oh, these men thirsty out here. And you simply just walked up. Hey, how are you? What's your name? My name is Roger. What's your name? Oh, these thirsty niggas out here. These niggas thirsty. You need some water to quench that thirst? You need some Gatorade. Who remembers that? That was at the time where women, you approach them and they would be like, let me record this thirsty ass nigga. Look at this dusty, thirsty ass. And you just simply approach them. Ugh, these niggas thirsty. Like, that's what they would say to you. This is 2018, 2019, 2015. Yep. Thirsty ass niggas. Right? And so you're sitting there, now they're like, well, I wish men would approach. It's like, you're dealing with the women out here that this woman's identifying in this article. Okay. They're dealing with the realities of their choice. Look at this. Chivalry is actually a good thing. All right. Now they're circling back right here. Consent workshops. I mean, again, they're trying to patch up something that is unpatchable. Don't use dating apps. Dude, men have been saying this in this space since forever. Now they don't get what they want. Oh, don't use dating apps. Get drunk and high in private and female friends. Hold off having sex with the new boyfriend for at least a few months. You mean what men were telling you to do? You mean what the Lord was telling you to do? Only have sex with a man if you think he will make a good father of your children. Oh my goodness, man.
Oh my God.
Really? You mean we weren't doing this before? Is this new? Monogamous marriage is by far the most stable and reliable foundation on which to build a family. And then just send it. Of course, none of this advice is groundbreaking. It's all informed by peer review research or the Bible or common culture. The culture we had before this culture. No research has found this to be, well, there was research before, like thousands of years of research that have found these things to be true. Now, what's happening? Now that sugar daddy is out here fixing binds and kicking them back to their 1-bedroom apartment, now that men are dropping out, now that women can't get married
And that's
at
you.
the rate they want, now your past is being used against you. Now y'all want to pivot back. Now that we free agents, now you got the passport bros. Men have made the adjustment because women set it in front of you. This is what we're going to do. And men adjusted. Passport bros, MGTOW, red pill, dating coaches, free agent lifestyle, sugar daddies. Men have literally been like, okay, y'all go put it out here. We going to sell it. You going to sell a bit? We going to buy a bit. Now they want to reel that shit back in. Economics. The barbarian has hit the gate. I said that in my book. Once the barbarian hits the gate, you're going to see them start tap dancing and shuffling. Economy collapsing. Women being drafted into war. World War III.
New world order.
Now the barbarian is swinging the axe. Now they want to change up the shit. Oh, no. Well, listen. Don't forget about that. Let's just go ahead and forget about what we was doing. Let's go ahead and roll it back. Let's turn back the hands of time. Because before this, if you tell a woman that, they'd be like, nah, you ain't going to have me locked up, controlling me insecure. I ain't going to be your slave. When they was out there drunken and partying, woohoo! Oh, look, the category of people most likely to become victims of these men are young women, 13 to 25. Young women, wow. All girls and women, in particular in this age category, should avoid being alone with men that they don't know or men who will give them the creeps. Okay, now. Oh, man. Chivalry, you guys are old and archaic, man. What a time to be alive. Yep, they done drank up all the drink. They done smoked up all the weed. They done had all the sex. They done been choked out, handcuffed. Dude, on locals on Sunday. Matter of fact, I might do this today, but I do have to run an errand. But I got a story that I got to share with y'all. And I might just hop on locals for about 20 minutes. All right. It is for premium members only over there. All right. Because I got a story that lines up exactly like this. It lines up exactly like this. So, I mean, the stories, the stuff that I hear from women's mouths of how they going to find a mate. Mind-boggling shit. All right. Anyway, let me get to these super chats here. Goodness gracious. Ladies, where y'all at? If you enjoyed this clip, check me out on the Free Agent Lifestyle channel for the best morning live stream every weekday. And of course, we're back for the evening live streams as well. Check out the times in the featured channels on this channel right here. And also the links are in the description box. I will see you there.
New world order.